Info Factory Track for CSI, PPS Picking, where PPS stands for Pick, Pack, Ship. Factory Track has several PPS picking parameters to control the validations, displayed fields, and processing options that are permitted as part of the PPS picking process. These are defined on the transaction set parameters form for the PPS picking transaction. For this training, we will be enabling the parameters displayed in order to show where these fields appear in the transaction steps. For initial setup, it is recommended that at least the Create Shipment and the Selection by Pick List options are selected. To start the PPS picking process, from the Factory Track Warehouse Mobility main menu, click on the Ship It icon. This then navigates the outbound transaction screen where you click on the PPS picking icon. The PPS picking process is initiated by determining which pick list to pick. Factory Track offers several options to allow the user to search for the pick list from which to fill open customer orders. Most widely used filter is the pick list number field that is made available if the Selection by Pick List option is selected in the transaction set maintenance form. You can then enter, scan, or search and select the pick list number. When a specific pick list is identified, the application will direct the user to the next step without need of any additional filtering or selection. The pack location field is made available if the Selection by Pack Location option is selected in the transaction set maintenance form. We can enter, scan, or search and select the pack location ID. The Pick Location field is made available if the Selection by Pick Location option is selected in the transaction set maintenance form. We can enter, scan, or search select the Pick Location ID. The Picker field is made available if the Selection by Picker option is selected in the transaction set maintenance form, and the user's ID is defaulted in the form. However, the user is able to enter, scan, or search or select the Picker ID. The pick date is always available for entry, and if the option for today's pick list is selected in the transaction set maintenance form, today's date will be defaulted in the entry field. The user has the option to select an alternative date as well. The order field is made available if the Selection by Order option is selected in the transaction set maintenance form. We can enter, scan, or search and select the order ID. We then click on Next to continue. Once the pick list is selected based on the previous filter selections, Factory Track displays the item details selection for what is required for the pick process to fill the order. The pick list order ID indicates what was selected to be filled by the previous selection. Each item detail includes the item ID and description, the location ID from which the stock should be picked, the lot number which should be picked if the item is lot controlled, the quantity already picked against this pick list, and the quantity remaining to be picked against this pick list. You highlight the item you want to pick and then click on Next to begin the picking process. The PPS picking process screen will display fields associated with the items required to fill the pick list's associated orders. These orders are the order and the line, the warehouse, the location, the item and description for the item to be picked, the unpicked quantity displays the remaining amount of the item that needs to be picked to fulfill the request, the pack location to which the items need to be moved for packing. We then enter, scan, or search select the location ID to confirm that the items are being pulled from the proper location. This field is only displayed for entry based on the configuration setting on the transaction set maintenance form, requiring location entry. We then enter or scan the item ID to confirm that the proper item is being picked. This field is entry only if the confirm item parameter is set on the transaction maintenance form. Otherwise, this field is displayed pre-filled. We then enter the quantity of the items that are being picked against the request. This value will be validated so that it does not exceed the unpicked quantity unless the allow overpick parameter has been selected on the transaction set maintenance form. We then click on Process to continue processing. Factory Track will then prompt the user to select the remaining items to continue with the pick process until it is complete. To process PPS picking for a lot tracked item, a similar process with additional lot-specific fields is used. The PPS picking process screen with the additional display of the lot ID associated with the items to be picked. We can then enter, scan, or search select the location ID to confirm that the items are being pulled from the proper location. We can then enter or scan the item ID to confirm that the correct item is being pulled. We can then enter, scan, or search and select the lot associated with the items being picked. This field is displayed for entry only if the confirm lot parameter is set on the transaction set maintenance form. We then enter the quantity of the items that are being picked against the request, and then we click on Process to continue with the processing. If the item is serial controlled, we have the same initial fields. The quantity entered will control the next process by defining the scan quantity that would be required to complete the process. This becomes the total quantity value used on the serial selection processing form. This value will be validated so that it does not exceed the unpicked quantity unless the allow overpick parameter has been selected on the transaction set maintenance form. We can enter the assigned serials as yes to limit the serial number selection to only those assigned for the defined location. Then we can enter, scan, or search the serial numbers for the items being picked. The scan quantity field is displayed to indicate the quantity of serial numbered items that have been captured so far in the process. Once the scan quantity field equals the total quantity, the processing option is enabled. We can click on Process to process the PPS picking. We can click on Show List to show the list of serial numbers captured in the process. And we can click on Clear List to clear the list and start again.